It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
If you're dealing with dark spots on your skin, you're not alone. Over half of us are affected by hyperpigmentation. La Roche-Posay's advanced anti-dark spot routine is clinically proven to help. Mela B3 Serum utilizes Melasil to target and fade dark spots, while Anthelios UV Mune 400 Anti-Dark Spots SPF 50 helps to prevent new ones. Discover La Roche-Posay's new advanced anti-dark spot routine. Mela B3 Serum and Anthelios UV Mune 400 Anti-Dark Spots SPF 50.
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax covered.
I meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
Skiing isn't just a holiday.
It's a feeling you can't forget.
It's scenery that makes you say wow.
Before your first run of the day.
It's the clinking of Afri drinks.
And trying something totally new.
Paragliding, anyone?
We get it.
We know the feeling.
Get that feeling with Crystal Ski Holidays.
Choose from over 150 resorts and get everything sorted in one easy package. Find out more at crystalski.co.uk. ABTA and ATO protected.
Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital? Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap of the I Hope I'm in the Twilight Zone and This Week Didn't Happen, February 17th through 21st, 2025. Sorry for the additional.
Hey, we got our Valentine's Day episode that we wanted too bad. They screwed it all up. You need to read this headline so we can get right into it.
So, something that I've been meaning to mention during the Port Charles pipeline. We're not responding to messages anymore on social media. We have been getting, even from, I think that like some of the accounts we have spoken with in the past have been hacked, even popular accounts that we follow that are legit accounts. I've been receiving extremely inappropriate types of messages from, and they tend to be in like a group message. So like I know not to open them, but then sometimes I get like the one-off. We're getting too many gross spam and inappropriate messages. So I'm just done opening them. So I'm really sorry if anyone messages us on social media, please. We do have an automatic reply that says to email us, but really I'm done even attempting to filter them. So please, honest to goodness, you have to email us pier54podcast@gmail.com. It's just, I don't want to get hacked.
Yeah.
For one.
And you don't want to look at gross stuff.
And no. If I wanted to look at that stuff, I would. I have no desire to.
Right. I don't need someone sending it to me. If I wanted to find that, I think I know how I would.
Yeah. So, no. And then I text you this after while I was editing last week, because when we were talking about Chris McKenna, the new Brennan, it was driving me bonkers. I could not think of who he was, and I couldn't think of the show on Netflix that I watched. I was confusing him, but he reminded me of Paul Adelstein from his own private practice, but then he's also in The Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce.
Yes.
And there was a certain picture of Chris McKenna that when I Googled him while we were recording to look at something, I sent you that picture, and I was like,
yes.
This is the picture that I saw. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's not for nothing. I mean, he has whitish, grayish hair now. And, back 15 years ago, he might not have. So like him, but it's not him.
Nope, it's not him. Well, I saw a picture this week on Facebook, one of the other General Hospital, I don't know if it was Soap Central or one of them, but anyway, they posted like a throwback picture of him and Laura Wright whenever they were younger. And I was like, see, now that I see that picture, I know him from One Life to Live. But whenever you were like, he was on One Life to Live, I was like, I forget that One Life to Live has been off the air for a million years now. And so I expect them to look the exact same. And I'm like, that guy was not on One Life to Live. Yes, he was. He was just our age back then on One Life to Live. And that's why I didn't recognize that he also has aged in time like we have.
He doesn't look bad. I mean, he's a handsome man.
He is. He is a handsome man.
It's really, really weird to look at people how I feel like, and I get told it all the time, like, pretty much look exactly the same as I did in high school. I'm just older.
Right.
You know? But some people like really do change how they look.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, like I said, he's a very handsome man. So it's not like he aged badly. It's just he aged and doesn't look the same.
Right.
But then he does whenever you look at those pictures, like, oh, I see it. But like for you to not be able to immediately recognize who the heck he was, even when I told you his character's name, I feel like that kind of says something.
Right. Once you said the character, then I was like, okay. And then, then my brain remembered that time is a thing. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I don't expect adult characters to look like we did 30 years ago, because in my mind, that's what we still look like now.
When you think of people that you just met, have I asked you this before?
Oh, no.
I just asked Erica this the other day. When you think of someone that you just met, when they're telling you a story about when they were like 5, you just picture their head now on like a little tiny body.
No, but I don't.
I thought this before we came out. So
no, I don't think of them on a little tiny body, but I don't think that I accurately age them backwards either, because I do have the issue, like I forget, like little kids, it's easier because little kids are cute, but I forget that we all go through like the awkward stage. And so when someone's telling me something about whenever they were like 12, 13, 14, and then they'll like pull out a picture, I'm like, oh, like you were not cute then. And then you're like, oh, but you like age up and whatever. We all had that awkward phase, like either the crazy glasses or the crooked teeth or something that you're just like, oh no, you look a lot better now. Like, good job growing up and growing into all of that. But now I'm going to laugh every time that a mutual friend of ours starts telling a kid story, and I'm going to picture you picturing them as a child with just a grown up head.
On a little body. Yep, exactly.
All right.
And then my daughter, we've talked about it before, loves Studio Ghibli movies. She introduced us to one that we had not watched yet called Pom Poko, and Wally Kurth voiced one of the raccoons.
Aww.
And also the lead child raccoon, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's like, I've told you this before. I was like, girl, you have told me so much about Studio Ghibli. Like, I know that Phil Hartman's Gigi because you love Gigi. That's the black cat that she has multiple, like,
everyone loves
everywhere.
Gigi.
Right. Like, you know, I know Gigi very well. And I know that that's Phil Hartman. I was like, I don't remember every single one, because there are a lot of American actors who, when they do the dubbing, that they do the anime films. So I think it's Kirsten Dunst is Kiki. I could be wrong, but like there's a ton of famous actors. But it was funny because when I was looking it up, and it was in the 90s, and I couldn't find this one picture. But so the raccoon character kind of had like his Ned hair. I mean, it was obviously Wally Kurth's hair, but you know how like he had like kind of like, it wasn't poofy, but it was like kind of poofy. You know what I'm talking about? And he wore a scarf. And I'm like, why do I feel like I remember a picture of Wally Kurth wearing a scarf from the 90s, like as he was like rock and roll or whatever. So the cartoon raccoon is wearing a scarf. I will say, out of all of the Studio Ghibli movies that I have watched, this one probably had like they all have good stories. It's only slightly disturbing.
Oh no.
With some things. So I'm just going to throw it out there that should you feel the need to watch this movie and you go, what is happening? Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to throw that out there. It was a good movie. So
okay.
We'll leave it there. Do you have any fun?
I do not.
Like to add? This upcoming Thursday, we will be continuing Be Lucky and Liz number 16, Lucky number 22.
9-minute comment.
And for Hulu headlines, for our new listeners who are like, what the heck are they doing Hulu headlines for? It's because we realized that sometimes they have really ridiculous headlines on Hulu that either don't match the actual story, or they give away stuff for no reason.
And it's a nice refresher because sometimes the days kind of run together depending on how we watched them.
Yep. They kind of just came about because I'm ridiculous and one time saw and asked Amanda if she ever read them. And now we read them. So on Monday, Cyrus prepares to strike again. Carly and Sunny debrief. Liz and Lucky date Anna. Mac is dismayed. Willow makes an unwelcome discovery. Whatever. And Tuesday, Brennan surprises Carly. Kai and Trina spend Valentine's Day together. Anna implores Jason. Maxie plays matchmaker. Bruce Spinelli. And Chase makes a romantic gesture to Brooklyn. On Wednesday, Dante enlightens Lulu. The tension between Drew and Curtis grows. Chase makes a confession. Carly and Brennan are interrupted. On Thursday, Jason makes a big decision. Laura gets shocking news. Portia and Isaiah work to save a life. Glenn faces her fears, and Jordan strategizes. And then on Friday, Anna shares big news with Dante. Sasha makes a confession. Drew and Jason face off. Brennan does damage control, and Lulu is stunned.
Okay, where are you starting?
I'd just like to remind everyone that we, honest to goodness, absolutely love the show. We have said this many times. We truly, truly do. You know, this is not a podcast that we want to complain and be negative. Obviously, we're always going to have different opinions about things, but how dare they?
Right?
I feel nothing. I don't care. How could they rob us of that? Especially where Jonathan wasn't even gone for a whole week. It's like when we saw that he was temporarily recast, like I immediately went to the internet and was like, okay, what's up? Mm-hmm. And it just had like a handful of episodes. 2, you're telling me they couldn't have delayed at all?
So I just feel like
reverse and put the temporary recast in the hospital with I don't care about that. You robbed everyone of something we have been working on for 6 months, for a decade, for a long time, because also there was a period of time where Lucky did not deserve this and that they should not have been doing this.
Right.
However,
no, they could have just rewrote it. Okay, so Liz and Lucky come in. We see it's recast Lucky. They're talking about the fact that Liz went to Anna and presented all of the information that they found in the dumpster. They see a beautiful cake on the table. Out comes Aiden and his friend. They introduce him.
It was Jonathan that went to see Anna, right? Jonathan went to see Anna, but it was...
No, he didn't go to see Anna. It was
go to see Anna?
Okay. It was just Liz. Just Liz went to see Anna.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
You're good. So Aiden comes in, introduces his friend to his dad, talks about they're going to this skate-in thing that we had already heard Dante talking about Rocco was at. So apparently it's like the cool thing for the teens to do. And then Aiden pulls Liz into the kitchen and is like, hey, do you want us to stay? Like, are things weird for you and Dad to be together on Valentine's Day? Blah, blah, blah. And Liz is like, that is so sweet of you. No, go have fun. Like, I don't mind spending time with your dad alone. And like gets this little sparkle in her eye. And you're like, oh, Liz and Lucky, yay. So then they leave and Liz is talking to Lucky and Lucky says, oh, so Aiden was concerned. It upsets me that he thinks that you need protection from me. And she's like, I know I don't need protection from you, blah, blah, blah. And they have like this whole moment. They 100,000% could have had that moment without kissing, could have just had that conversation.
It wasn't even that good of a moment to warrant the first kiss. It wasn't.
But that conversation, then Lucky be like, okay, yeah, it's getting late, blah, blah, blah. They ate their cake, whatever. It's getting late. He leaves. Cyrus shows up to question Liz on the fact that she is investigating him, and he like spills his guts to her about why he's done what he's done, the people that he's killed, where it started, why he needed to kill Sam because she interfered with the fact that Lulu was supposed to die, and that he was actually the one that caused Lulu's liver failure to begin with because he gave her the wrong med, and like all this stuff. So then he pulls out a syringe and he's going to kill her. It would 100% have made sense that Lucky came back wanting a kiss, feeling like he left things unsaid, come in, saved her, then went to the hospital, And then assuming that he's going to wake up from this, for her to be like, oh my God, I was just thinking that I lost you. I was thinking that I was going to lose you again after I just got you back, blah, blah, blah. And then they kiss. It would have been Jonathan. It would have been perfect.
They didn't kiss after he sang Elizabeth to her.
Nope.
They didn't kiss after all these other things. He just said that you're as beautiful as I remember you. No flashback, by the way. No flashback to the first time that they saw each other, or at least when he's maybe when we finally saw Lucky look at her that way. But there was nothing.
Nope.
Okay, even if they had wasted that on Jonathan, I still would have been like, seriously, that was it. But I still would have been happy because it at least happened. But there would have been something so special about, I can't. And so my first thought went to, okay, this does happen sometimes as actors get older. Certain actors will not kiss someone else on screen. And it's sometimes a decision, like Penn Badgley for You, the TV show You on Netflix. He's like, can we kind of scale back some of these scenes where I'm doing more than kissing, because he's starting to feel it's disrespectful to his wife. And I'm not saying that it is, but I think I think if you're being convicted in that way, you should have the right to be able to do that. So there's the guy who played on Desperate Housewives. Oh, what the heck is his name? The one that played Edie's husband, who moved her back to Wisteria Lane, was a little bit bonkers. Dave. His name was Dave, but that's not the actor's name. But that actor, they never kissed. He will not kiss a woman that is not his wife, which is fine, But then there's other couples, and it's fine. Like, whatever you decide, that if you feel convicted that you don't want to do that.
Right. Personal choice.
Okay. So I was kind of like, okay, is Jonathan Jackson just not kissing women on screen anymore? Because I know that we've seen him obviously do it since he's been married. He was on Nashville. He's done other things. No. There was seriously no reason for it. I understand, production is set up ahead of time. If something came up last minute that he was like, hey, I can't make it to work this day, they had to keep shooting. They had to get the rest of the series out. Like, time doesn't stop just because an actor needs a day off. Totally makes sense. I don't understand why they wouldn't have done that simple rewrite. I just did it in 3 seconds. Like, hey, We're not going to disappoint all these people who have been dying for them to kiss. We're going to just take that out and throw it in over here after he wakes up. Easy peasy. Yep. And there's an article on MSN. General Hospital fans find kiss between former super couple disappointing with temporary read. Lucky and Liz finally kissed on General Hospital, but it was not with the original actor Jonathan Jackson playing him, much to fans' disappointment. The temporary recast on Tuesday's episode, the 18th, was played by Guy Wilson. Guy, by the way, so sorry for all the hate you're getting.
Right. It's not about you. You were the wrong guy.
Yeah. Many might remember Guy's stint on Days of Our Lives, blah, blah, blah. He'll play Lucky for a handful of episodes. Jonathan will be returning in episodes later this month. It was literally 2 days later.
Right.
In the episode, Liz and Lucky share a sweet kiss that fans of the pair have been waiting for since Lucky was brought back in 2024. On social media, fans expressed their dismay about not even being able to enjoy the kiss because it was not Jonathan as Lucky. One fan wrote on GH subreddit for today's episode, so disappointing that we get this temp recast for Valentine's Day with Liz and Lucky. I'm sure it can't be helped, but such a waste. Really, we finally get LL kiss, and it's with an imposter. I hate it here. And then somebody on Twitter said, the Lucky Liz scenes today should have been put on hold until Jonathan Jackson returns. They fell completely flat. I am so disappointed. Another fan wrote, I'm not here for any of these recasts. Not Lucky's, definitely not Jack's. It makes me not even want to watch.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's been a lot of really upsetting things happening lately. I feel like with something this big
and this simple to
they
fix,
should have,
like, again,
exactly.
If he said, there's been a death in the family, I need to take the next 3 months off. Okay, we can't put this on hold for 3 months. Like, everyone just has to suck it up. I get it.
Right.
But
2 days.
2 days and a 5-second rewrite. I don't understand.
Fun fact, this was not Guy Wilson's first time on General Hospital. According to SoapCentral.com, in 2006, he actually played Lucky's dad as a teen. Wilson brought Luke Spencer to life when Luke flashed back to his younger days and imagined where his life might have gone had he met Tracy back then.
Yeah, I knew we had seen him before. No.
And then also, they're putting this poor actor in this position because, like we've talked about, like we don't get into these arguments, but some soap fans are even more passionate.
Right, exactly.
And they're going to take this very personally. I mean, I struggled this week. I'm not going to lie. I felt as though I just didn't care.
Yeah.
And I
don't even think that's fair to the actors because they get invested in the storylines too, and they know that the fans are invested. So, how did she feel that day?
Rob Jonathan of that too.
Right.
And then you set up this guy. Sorry, there's no way around it.
No.
You set up Guy so that he's going to be receiving this backlash. And that's just, it's not fair.
No. Nope.
It's not like when they had to, remember when Monica was recast a couple times, but it was like right in the middle of a storyline. There was no way. And it wasn't during something. He had to carry through the storyline, but it wasn't like this.
Exactly. This was not an emergency. They did not have to do it then.
No.
So anyway.
And yes, we wanted it for Valentine's Day because of the nostalgia, but also they didn't even talk about anything about that.
About their past Valentine's Days. No.
Because that would have made sense then if they had at least had that dialogue going with, oh, remember the Valentine's Day we did this or whatever. Or even if after Liz and Aiden had that conversation, maybe having Lucky say something, like talking with Aiden about, oh yeah, your mom and I for Valentine's Day used to do this.
Or they could have changed it.
Reminisce.
They could have changed it so that it didn't even have to go there because Aiden could have said to Lucky, I just worry about mom today because of Franco being gone.
Well, that was where I was going next, is why also did they not have Aiden saying, I know today's your anniversary with Franco, it might, and I could imagine from a teen standpoint, like it would also possibly be difficult hanging out with your ex-husband.
Right. It was just wrong in so many ways. So I'll move on because if not, we could just dwell on this for the whole hour, and I don't want to do that.
So you just want to continue from there then?
Yeah.
From on that storyline? Okay.
Right. So Cyrus
gets disappointment number 2.
Yes. So then Cyrus is trying to inject Liz. That's whenever Lucky breaks in, and they struggle, and Cyrus manages to inject Lucky with the digitalis. I was a little confused why she called 911, but didn't start heart compressions instantly. She kind of left him hanging there for a second, but the ambulance came. He went to GH. All the proper people were called. Laura, Lulu, everybody to go and make sure that he was okay. And then finally Anna gets there and is like, oh, I guess we should have arrested Cyrus earlier because he fled the scene and now we have no idea where he's going.
When we walk it back to when Cyrus approached Liz, and Liz did an amazing job realizing everything that okay, you're going to want to sit down for this one.
Oh, are you going to actually admit something?
No, because I'm still holding by that they ruined it. I'm still holding by that they did change it, because if they had left it at Cyrus, a conversation with Liz where he was basically saying we're all God's children, and she was like, therefore we're all family. And so she realized why he did the strangers, and he feels like he's being robbed of helping his mother, and so this is what he would do for his mom. And it's out there thinking, and there's definitely some stuff going on there that he needs some mental health intervention with. But I thought that it was a really, really, really good scene with Liz.
It was a good scene with Liz, and the fact that she handled it as best as she could, as far as being oh, so we're on the same side. We're trying to help people not suffer. We're trying to take care of people. It was a good she wasn't lying to him, even though you could tell she was trying to protect herself and not anger him. She wasn't saying anything untrue.
Do you know what they did? They remembered that Liz is smart.
Well, then I guess we can at least give them that for Valentine's Day.
But I mean, really, because she was very quick on her feet. You could tell she was thinking, but she also kind of had a sense of compassion for him with the, oh my gosh, I actually get this. Don't agree with it.
Right.
But I get this. I get why you're thinking this way. Then
it all made sense up until the people that we really cared about. Whenever he said, oh, I had to kill Sam because she kept me from killing Lulu. Well, no, if it was God's plan to wake Lulu up, then you shouldn't be killing Sam.
Right. And to find out that, okay, and he didn't do digitalis on Lulu, did he?
Right, that's how he learned to change it up, was because what he originally used on Lulu caused the liver failure, not death.
We're just going to look up and see if digitalis can cause cirrhosis, and then
no,
we're not going to, because that's not what he even used.
Right.
I did like that when Liz brought the bag to Anna, she's like, nope, we went dumpster diving, and he's misrepresented himself. Cyrus has misrepresented himself while volunteering. He's been visiting certain patients at Turning Woods, like really, really looking for the ones that need this help.
Right.
That she put together the Paul Damascus,
the
syringes. Because here's the thing, in Cyrus's mind, he's probably thinking that he's like Paul, because Paul was one of the biggest haters, Christians, before his conversion. And so he's probably thinking that he had this conversion.
Right.
That they could have had him do, that they didn't. But then you can't even have the slight bit of compassion where Liz was coming from on his reasoning. Yes, it was wrong thinking. He should not have been doing it. I'm not defending Cyrus. He absolutely knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing he more than likely knew what it was wrong. But it's almost like if they kind of just ended with, why does Lucky have a gun?
Because he's not a cop anymore.
Amanda, cops aren't the only ones with guns.
According to Anna.
But I just feel like, especially where Sidwell is back in town and Lucky knows that, I feel like Lucky would have been carrying a gun.
Right.
Anyway, we see Joss at Cyrus's, and she finds an envelope under one of the drawers, and he had been cutting off, because we saw that in one of the scenes. He cut off Dex's medical bracelet. Why did no one notice that all these medical bracelets went missing?
Right.
Nobody noticed.
They check your bracelets for everything. Like, they could have literally just been in your room and they still come back in and ask you all that information. I'm pretty sure they still check all that, like, repeatedly for dead people too, because they want to make sure they're not putting people in the wrong slot and whatever. So you didn't realize, the medical examiner, whenever you went to move Dex's body to, like, where they store the body, you didn't notice that he didn't have a bracelet on?
And aren't they all barcoded now too? So like they're making sure to track, like, when they're being moved to the final, like when they're being transported to the funeral home or whatever. So nobody noticed, and nobody paid attention to, oh, hey, these people that are also dying of this. See, they did this with the hook. They could have done so many things, and they could have given us a little bit longer, one, without knowing that it was Cyrus, two, where it's, oh, you're starting to pick up on these little serial killer things. And that's the thing, though, is that it was 100% done. I don't know. Now I'm trying to think. Can't think. We talked about, like, the trophies and the souvenirs that serial killers sometimes take. So I'm just trying to figure out, I don't know. I feel like I have so many questions that are never going to get answered.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Again, it would have been something simple to just show us here and there. Like, they would yell at a nurse, like, you forgot to put a bracelet on Mr. So-and-so. And the nurse, like, seeing her being puzzled, like, I know I put a bracelet on him, kind of thing. And then seeing that happen over and over again, to be like, wait a second, something's going on.
Right. These people were suddenly dying. And it didn't explain. I mean, was he going to kill Michael because of his pain?
Yeah, I think he was killing Michael because of his pain, because that's what he had said to Liz, was that he was helping out with the pain, because he had nothing against Michael.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I don't know. I feel like if Lucky had just walked in, and if he had been the one to kill Cyrus as he was about to attack Liz, and we could let him die on that forever moment of, was he completely delusional, or did he know? And we could have talked about this forever.
Right.
And it could have been, okay, that last conversation that he had with Liz, you kind of see where, oh, that's where the delusion is. That's where he truly, truly thinks that he is doing God's work, even though it's wrong.
Right.
Even though that's not how that works. But instead, we see Joss at his place find the envelope that has all of the medical bracelets in it. So he's obviously been collecting from his victims mementos. And he shows up and he has that hand axe. And I so badly wish he had at least picked it up to throw it at Joss.
Right.
Or had thrown it and obviously not hit her.
Right.
And had her shoot him, because now his last words were, "Now you're the murderer."
Yes.
And if he could have still said that, she was 100,000% in self-defense. No questions asked. But for her own mental health,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would have been so helpful that he would have at least had that. No, he was throwing the axe at me. He was definitely picking it up.
Right, right.
Because now she can't even go see a therapist because apparently this was all staged by Brennan because he thinks she is smart and should be part of the WSB.
Which is 100% ridiculous also. I'm not saying that she's not smart.
Kind of like, in general, I'm very intrigued by the thought process there. I wish that they had her do more to trigger those thoughts.
Right. That's exactly what I was just going to say. I'm not saying that Joss isn't a smart girl. She is a smart girl. She's going to school to be a doctor. From everything we know, she's making great grades and doing all kinds of other wonderful things. However, we haven't seen her she didn't investigate. She went to people and asked questions, which if you're a spy, you have to ask questions, but you can't be quite so direct. She asked questions to get the information on Cyrus, but she didn't uncover all of this on her own from start to finish. Like she had help, and he's like, "Oh, you're just so smart, blah, blah, blah." Like she cracked the entire case and brought it to justice with no one else's help. And that's not true.
And she was reckless.
Right.
And really, I mean, yes. So you see the potential in someone and you're like, listen, I see where you can go with this. So let's get you the training, so that you're not making these reckless decisions. But it would have been so much better if she had found Cyrus's hiding place on her own, put all that together, and just all of that. Instead,
right.
Brennan helps her clean up the scene. She can never tell anybody,
including her mom, which she does not
have to get a new phone.
Right.
It's just, I feel like I'm kind of all for it. Like when he said it, and after I thought about well, that was ridiculous how we got here, but I think it would kind of be cool to have Joss at least even.
I mean, it would be nice to open up that whole storyline because we haven't had an active spy in a million years. So it would be fun to see where that goes. I just feel like it's premature. We've jumped the gun. She has not earned this just yet. I think he is letting the fact that he's interested in Carly influence his like of Joss. And so he's like, oh, she's a smart girl. I mean, Trina's a smart girl. We're not asking her to be a spy.
Right. And how about Joss's motive for this entire thing was completely personal. And it was very emotion driven. Her drive was completely from her own emotions and her own hope, which is fine. But how about we see her have that same passion and same desire and skill when it's not something so personal to her?
Exactly. You don't know that she's going to do as well or care as much whenever it's not a personal connection. So
I think it would have been interesting if he had set up something else as a test for her.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the finding Valentine thing, because I don't think that benefits her in any way. Off the top of my head, I can't think of how it does. Would she go about it with the same passion?
Yeah.
Okay. So, who does have that drive, though, for things that don't necessarily benefit her is Emma, because she's super passionate about stopping the animal cruelty and everything. Right. So she has that drive that we can see that she is very focused. And I mean, that does benefit her because animals aren't being harmed, but it wasn't, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say here, but
it would be interesting if they recruited her also, because we already know that her and Joss don't like each other. So for them to have to work together and not blow the cover would be interesting to see.
They had recruited Emma first and then gotten Joss involved. So Emma approached Joss about helping, and it was not really liking how Emma was like, oh, sure, only $100 and then you don't have to actually do anything. And Joss is like, excuse me, boyfriend just died. Brother is in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Like all this stuff is going on right now. You're lucky that I even had $100 to give you.
Right, exactly.
I did like Gio kind of calming her down. But if they had recruited Emma first, and then let's say Joss did actually get involved with this whole thing and blah, 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 blah. But then she sees Emma in trouble and she doesn't like Emma. She doesn't necessarily care too much about the animals. I mean, she does, but she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
and she approaches it with the same passion and drive that she did with this.
All right, so maybe that's where they're going. We'll give them some time, but
they can't because they've already offered it to her.
Well, they did already offer it, but I just mean like as part of her training and stuff. Maybe we'll see that move forward, and then maybe even Emma to get an offer after the fact or something, or to have some type of interaction between the two of them that makes you like this idea. It's not even that I don't like the idea. Understand the idea a little bit better, because I just don't know where Brennan got this from just yet.
I think we could have gotten it differently, and I like it. Like I like the overall idea. I'm unsure of how we really got here and why that seemed like a good idea.
Yeah.
Based on all of that.
Right.
So, I mean, do you think she's going to do it? I'm torn. I don't know if she will or not.
I don't know. Joss's relationship is so close with Carly. I don't know how she could keep all of that stuff from Carly. That's going to change. Right. That's going to change like a main piece of who Joss is if she takes on this position and can't share information with her mom. So, yeah, we'll have to see.
And Anna's going to have a lot to say to Brennan when she finds out.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she will find out.
Oh, yeah, she finds out everything. So, I don't know. I hope it's just not part of a ploy to bring down Sunny, because I'm tired of people being used for that. And Joss needs to focus on her real life and a real job, not just being a pawn in something against Sunny for a while.
Oh, that's a good point, too. Ooh, on that subject, though, absolutely love Anna, Laura, and Jordan.
Yes.
That entire scene, I was like, this is great. This is great. We need more of this. We need more of them basically saying, okay, what is it? It's better to have the bad person that we know rather than the one we don't know.
Exactly. And Drew's just a jerk. Like, no surprise there, but he's just a jerk because he keeps saying like, oh, if you don't let this go through or force this to go through, then you're on Sunny's side. No, we're not on Sunny's side. We know that this Sidwell guy is bad. Like, we have firsthand experience pretty much. Laura's son was held captive by the guy and literally played cards to save his life every day. Like, come on. He's not only dangerous, he's crazy.
But also, like Jordan said, coffee is Sunny's legit business.
Exactly, too. I don't see... I don't know what the ins and outs are of the government taking your property are, but I would assume that it's a little more complicated if it's a legitimate business that's been in business for how many years. It's not even like you can say, oh, this was a startup that's failing, like, here, let us buy you out or whatever. This is his business. It is established. It's been around for a long time. And you don't know that you could just pick it up and move it somewhere else.
Right. I did like that when they talked about it. And after Drew left, Laura was like, okay, so is this plan good for Port Charles or bad for Sunny? And Curtis is like, it's both.
Right.
But I like that they're pushing it back on Drew and saying, okay, then prove to us that you are not doing this out of spite. Like, actually tell us what the actual benefit of moving the plan to this area is.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't have one. It's just, well, if you don't like it because I want to move it, then you're working for Sunny.
Right.
And like you said, no, that's not how that works.
No.
I don't know. I don't understand all the planning that's going into it, but I feel like, I do think it's interesting though, because Windermere's launch is on 55.
Mm-hmm.
So Sidwell, I would imagine, would have to give some kind of an okay. And he's the one kind of driving this behind Drew.
Right. I don't know. But I loved Curtis. Mm-hmm. Curtis was part of the whole conversation with like, yeah, this is, like you said, good for the town, but I don't know about moving Sunny's everything. So then we see all the Valentine's Day stuff at the Savoy that we can get into. But then he calls Stella over and is like, hey, Stella, so let's have a Valentine's Day nightcap and you tell me what all you know about this other congressman, and can you hook me up with getting to know him and having some conversations, because he could be the key to stopping Drew from being able to basically do whatever he wants to do as far as Aurora and the different projects and stuff.
Yep.
So I love Aunt Stella. She's just like, yeah, I can hook you up. I'm super close to him, of course. Like, there's nothing I wouldn't do. Their relationship's just so cute. She's always like, there's nothing I wouldn't do for you, nephew.
And then she's like, thank you for getting me out of that Valentine's Day. Kind of bummed out we didn't find out what the drink was.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Just want to stick with the Savoy. So they did. Okay, Portia's dress, stunning. I thought that was absolutely gorgeous.
Yes. She always looks beautiful, but yeah, that was a very pretty dress. So let's see, who did we have at the Savoy? So Kai reached out to Trina, and it was cute. Trina was trying to keep Joss's mind off the fact that it was Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
That was sweet. She was like, I went to the store, we're going to make dinner, watch some TV. And Joss is like, we have never cooked. What are you talking about? Like, why are we doing this?
Because when did Spencer die? Because wouldn't this have been the first Valentine's Day without both of them?
I thought so, but she didn't say anything about that. She was totally focused on Joss, so I wasn't sure if I was wrong there. But Kai texted her and was like, hey, do you want to go out tonight? I have a table at the hottest nightclub in town, blah, blah, blah. And Joss is like, absolutely, go. You know, she said she had something else to do, which we find out later was the whole snooping around Cyrus's. But she's like, just go have a good time. And so Kai takes her and is like, this is supposed to be the best place, and it's so pretty, and the ambiance is this, and blah, blah, blah. And so finally she's like, yeah, I have to tell you, I've been here before because I kind of know the owner. And then Curtis came over, and I loved Portia because she was the typical mom. She saw them walk in and like want to go over to them, and Curtis was like, no, it's Valentine's Day, they're on a date, leave them alone.
Right. And I love that Trina let him have I had to pull some strings to get in here. You know, I found out like so-and-so said this was best and blah, blah, blah. And Curtis wasn't there. I don't think she would have told him. I don't think she would have told him until maybe the second time, but she was probably avoiding him from being embarrassed when inevitably Curtis was going to come over.
If you're dealing with dark spots on your skin, you're not alone. Over half of us are affected by hyperpigmentation. La Roche-Posay's advanced anti-dark spot routine is clinically proven to help. Mela B3 Serum utilizes Melasil to target and fade dark spots, while Anthelios UV Mune 400 Anti-Dark Spots SPF 50 helps to prevent new ones. Discover La Roche-Posay's new advanced anti-dark spot routine. Mela B3 Serum and Anthelios UV Mune 400 Anti-Dark Spots SPF 50.
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax
I
covered.
meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
And say hello. And then Kai would have probably been embarrassed. So she was kind of letting him know, yes, but.
Right. It is the best club. I agree. I just happen to agree, not only because it's the best, but because my dad owns it.
Yeah.
So,
but
that was
I did love everything about that. I thought it was very sweet. And
yes.
And Spinelli was acting on Maxie's behalf. She apparently found the perfect guy, and it's some model. I don't know. I feel like Lucas is beyond looks.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't feel like he would have wanted set up for Valentine's Day based on it. And that's what it felt like. It felt like it was more based on, well, he's a model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rather
like,
than
I have this hot guy, hang out with him. Not like, oh, I have this nice guy. He's a model, but when he's on location, he volunteers with doctors across borders and serves meals or blah, blah, blah. Like,
right. Or has XYZ in common with you, you know,
right.
Is also adopted, is also diabetic, is also, I mean, those are also like really random things, but
right. But even just a general connection of you guys may be friends because you talk about
both
this.
Enjoy playing soccer or something like that. You know,
right.
you both love the same team.
Yeah. Nope. It was nothing, but he's a hot guy. And Lucas seemed to appreciate that. I mean, he was a good looking guy, and the guy seems to like Lucas, but Lucas wants Brad. Like the heart wants what the heart wants. And in this case, I can't say that I'm against it. Like they have both grown so much.
And I think that Brad's done a really good job of holding back. We know that he's crying in the background, but he's also not smothering. And Lucas has gotten better at, so yeah, they had the drink and then he's like, okay, but I have to go. You know, It was the one and done. They had a good conversation. And then, okay, I couldn't figure out if Portia asking Brad if he had a good time was earnest or not.
I'm not sure either, because she said it so like in that annoyed tone that she has every time that she speaks to him. But it was like, I don't know why you'd even say anything to him. Like, if you didn't want to
I
talk
didn't
to
think
him.
it was as annoyed. I thought it was a little bit softer. I thought it was like I saw Lucas just left. Did you guys have a good time? Not just did you have a good time? I don't know. Maybe at
I
that
know.
point
I felt like it was so. I couldn't really read what she was trying to get out of it. Like, if she was super good friends with Lucas, then it would have made sense if she said it snarky, like, "Oh, did you have a good time? Like, don't get too comfortable with my friend because I'm not going to let this happen," or something like that. But I really couldn't read where she was coming from.
Yeah.
So, and I thought it was like ironic that Willow was over talking to Drew about how awful it was that they were together and having a drink, and she can't believe that they're spending Valentine's Day together, whenever Brad was like, I can't believe that she's over there, but at the same time, like, I feel for her, people talking about her, and you don't always ask for the attention that you get. You have to learn from your mistakes, blah blah blah. And like, he was being a halfway decent person, and she was just running her mouth. Like, she's getting down to Drew's level, and I don't like it.
She didn't realize that, her being married and her husband being in a burn unit in Germany, and she's out and about with her uncle-in-law,
right?
Might be a bad look.
Right.
And why would you go? It's not like Drew and Curtis haven't had words yet. Like, why would Drew think Curtis would want you there? I loved Curtis kicking him out and telling Nika he does not come in. When he calls for a reservation, we do not take it. If he shows up, he is not allowed, and bye-bye.
Yep. And she was like, do you want me to kick him out now? And he was like, oh no, I got this. And he went over and was like, yeah, I'm done with you. Get out. And Drew like made petty comments, and he was like, nope, there's not really anything to say. I don't want you here. Get out. And he's like, I can't believe you're kicking us out. And Curtis was like, no, I'm not kicking Michael's wife out. I'm kicking you out. And if she chooses to leave with you, oh well.
Yep. Kind of like how he then immediately took Willow to the house and told him his plan for them to move in together and everything. And then she remembered she's married. And he's like,
and she hasn't even told the kids yet.
Right. Well, there's that too. But then also, he's like, it's not fair that Scout's been living in a hotel. Dude, that was your choice.
Right.
The Quartermains did not kick her out at all.
Nope. And he's like, oh, you could move in. Would have to hire a nanny, though, to take care of the kids, blah, 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 blah. Like, you had all that at the Quartermains. You both had all that at the Quartermains.
Yeah.
At least she was smart enough to tell him no, though. I was happy with that, because I thought if she says yes to him, I'm like going to reach to the TV and slap her. Like, no, you cannot do this to your children. It is not okay. And he was trying to use Scout, like, oh, I think your kids living here too would, make things better for Scout because she just lost her mom and blah, 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 blah. Like, we're not messing with my kids' mental health to make your kids' mental health better. And I'm not even sure that really would make it better, because
he basically just said, I want to replace Sam.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I know I'll be in DC a lot. Okay. So you're going to be in DC a lot, and I'm going to be here taking care of your kid, me and the nanny. Like, no thanks. Not that Willow doesn't like Scout, but no thanks. I'm trying to deal with my own kids and the trauma that they have because their dad's over in a burn unit. Thanks. Right.
He's delusional. He's delusional.
I like that.
Because he's totally, it's like a completely different, I don't even understand where he's coming from, because then he also was such a jerk. So after Willow leaves, Jason just walks in.
I'm guessing he came in the back door because he just like shows up.
Yeah. And he's trying to call a truce, like, how we discussed with Sam before she died, and you promised her also.
Right.
And Rue's just nothing but nasty. And for the first time, I feel like we finally see Drew say to Jason, you're throwing away everything that I wish I had growing up. But also, Jason was in a car accident. It's not like, yes, Jason has made the decision now, but he also doesn't have the emotional ties and memories that he grew up with. So he doesn't understand what his life was like as a Quartermain.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that he loves Monica. He knows that he loves Lila. And he loves his family, but he never felt like they were his family. So it's not like Jason just threw it all away.
No. I don't even know how Drew makes that comparison. they didn't grow up together. It wasn't Jason's fault that he was the twin that was chosen. Like,
right.
He didn't get to pick. He didn't. It's not like they were teenagers and he was like, no, leave Drew here and I'm coming. Like, he had no choice in the matter whatsoever. So you're holding on to a grudge that had nothing to do with it.
Kevin and Ryan did grow up together, right? Oh my gosh. We just did like an entire summer of Ryan Chamberlain because Ryan was acting out. Kevin was taken away, right?
I think so. We should know this. You're right, but I don't know.
I know. Because I feel like it was when they were older. Because it's not the same thing as when, Rick and Sunny, and how Sunny was the quote unquote chosen one. And then Sunny's like, yeah, dude, I got beat. So not exactly sure what you think.
Right.
They're not twins, guys, in case you're newer to the show. Sunny and Rick are not twins.
Thank God.
Even though we're doing a lot of comparing of twins right now.
There's a lot of split up family.
What it was. I think that it was Ryan was taken away or Kevin was moved out because Ryan was having some mental health concerns that were escalating quickly. So Ryan was always mad about the fact that Kevin grew up with a better life.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Drew's
love
just over
Anna begged Jason to not kill Cyrus. I thought that was good. How she's like, listen, I know that you can do what you do, but I need you to really not do it.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't understand why this is for you. And she was like, because if you do it and I don't prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law, then it's going to show that I have favoritism towards you, which I can't have, but I do because you are kind of my friend. So, and then we got Sasha in there going to talk to him about how everyone's assuming that the baby's his, and then there was the private investigator. So what if they find out that it's Michael's, blah, blah, blah. And Willow is watching them like a hawk just because she's mad. I do think it's funny. Sasha thinks that Willow's smarter than she is because she's like, I think that Willow has caught on. No, she didn't.
Thank you. I was going to ask, I'm like, did I miss that last week where Willow was assuming or was trying to think of that? Okay.
No. Okay. No, Willow never... I mean, rightfully so from everything that we had seen from Michael up until he found out about them. Every time that anyone asks anything, Willow says, like, you're not going to find any dirt on Michael. No, he doesn't do anything wrong as far as our family went, blah, blah, blah. Business, that's a different story. So, no, she wasn't even suspecting it. It's the fact that they had the private eye that Sasha was like, oh, the attorney must be looking for something. Mm-hmm. And I told her my due date because, two babies can't be conceived on the same date. So if she is pregnant and it's a due date that would fall in line with Michael, it has to be Michael. So insane.
She walks out and then she walks right back in and kisses him.
She's like, go with me on this. And he just looks at her like, okay. But then poor Mac.
Well, I was going to bring up Mac and I was going to say about before Anna and Jason had the conversation, Mac and Anna had the conversation. Could we / should we look the other way and let Jason do what Jason does?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's interesting that they're having this struggle because they're like, listen, we literally cannot find anything on this guy that we can actually arrest him on. But we know for a fact that he has done these things. We just can't prove it.
Right.
So do we just let Jason take care of it?
Yeah, it would be a hard decision. Like, knowing that the law is supposed to handle things, but you're the law and you can't handle it has to put you in a position of, oh no.
Yeah, Mac tells Sasha that they're family and if she needs anything, they're going to be there. And then he spends Valentine's Day with the worst migraine he's had since Robin dated Jason.
Mm-hmm. But I loved Felicia because he was like, I just don't want her getting hurt, blah, blah, blah. And Felicia was like, listen, we have learned from personal experience that the heart wants what the heart wants. And if that's what Sasha wants, then that's where it goes. And as far as Jason being a bad guy, we've also learned from that personal experience. Like, Jason doesn't just go around using women and hooking up with random people and tossing them aside. Like, if they're in a relationship or they're trying to figure out what they're doing, Jason will be upfront and honest with her and have the best intentions. So he's better than a lot of the other guys that she could be being with. So,
and she owned up to her past. She even said, everybody told you, do not give me another chance. Like, you are crazy for having hung on to the idea of you and me.
Right.
She's thankful that he did. Yet also, she acknowledged dude, you maybe shouldn't have done that. Not that he shouldn't have, but it's look at our own past.
Right. It didn't make sense.
She owned up to she was the problem.
Yes.
That was nice.
It was. Good job taking responsibility.
Yay. Oh, what else? Chase performed at the Savoy. That was so sweet that they had him perform Brooklyn's song.
Yes.
Yes. Her.
Yes. And then she got called into deception. And so he went to Kelly's and he met up with Dante. And there he told Dante about their fertility issues and how it was his fault and everything. And then I wasn't sure how I felt about Brooklyn and Maxie. Like, I understood that Brooklyn was like, why did you call me and not think to call anyone else? But at the same time, we had already heard that Maxie was homesick. So if Lulu knew that information, which, again, if they're friends, you would assume that she did, that I was waiting for that to be her response. I called you because I couldn't call Lulu because she's at home sick. And instead it was like, oh, you didn't care about ruining my plans. And I thought, I don't know that she thought that far.
Lulu straight up said, I didn't want to ruin Maxie and Spinelli's Valentine's Day. And she said, and Brooklyn said, so you didn't think twice about ruining mine, though. Right. You're exactly right. Maxie was sick. Why couldn't it have been? And maybe Brooklyn didn't know that Maxie was sick. And so Lulu's like, listen, I was going to call Maxie. I would have preferred to have called Maxie, but she's in bed sick. She's been sick all day, blah, blah, blah. So I had to call you.
Exactly. I didn't like that I didn't want to interrupt their Valentine's Day. It should have been, I didn't want to bug Lulu because she was sick. And I know they were trying to twist it then. So yes, sorry. So I didn't want to twist it. Lulu was going to call Lulu. I know that they wanted it to be twisted. So it was like, okay, but you'd mess up Brooklyn's plans. But I feel like if she didn't know who to call and this person is calling screaming, her two direct bosses above her are Maxie and Brooklyn. I can't call Maxie.
Brooklyn's assistant. So right. Brooklyn should be the first person she calls.
Right.
In my opinion. So, that's, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know because we haven't seen it. I guess they just haven't done it good enough. Other than her showing up late for that one meeting, I don't feel like they've shown us that she's a bad assistant yet. Like when they had that meeting at the Metro Court, she was there, she was taking notes, she was asking questions on what she should take notes on. And so Brooklyn was like, well, you would have known that you needed to call so-and-so if you ever paid attention to your job and learned the chain of command and blah, 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 blah. And I didn't see her not show up to be taught that.
We never saw her or have not yet seen her using the fact that she's Tracy's favorite, that she's Maxie's best friend, that she's trying to do the bare minimum. We have actually seen her. So the way she was talking to that guy, not cool. And she should not be trying to justify the way that she spoke to him.
Right. No.
But at the same time, this is your boss telling you, you could have really just ruined this entire company. Lulu's not that stupid. Lulu worked for, come on.
Right. Exactly.
How to do this.
I know they needed us to see a big blow up between the two of them so that Dante could come in and make her feel bad by telling her about the fertility issues. But I just didn't like how that whole conversation happened, because if I worked for a company, I would never be disrespectful to the customer calling in. But if I knew that it was someone who, like they said, that guy was giving what he was selling was like a main part of their product. So if a supplier called me upset, even if it was Valentine's Day, I would call my direct boss, which you said is Brooklyn, and be like, oh my gosh, this supplier's on the phone. I don't know what to do. I don't want to say something wrong and blow it.
Right.
So I need you to come in and help me. And I don't feel like any of that would have been wrong. That's essentially what she was doing. And Brooklyn was like, well, you should have known the chain of command. From everything that they show us, the chain of command is just those four women. Like, there isn't anybody else. So,
but also the first one is her boss, who she's the assistant for, and that is Brooklyn. And it's not like we saw, and I didn't like the little rant of the perfect life, the perfect husband, the perfect blah, blah, because we never saw Brooklyn even, the only thing she said was, so you didn't care about ruining my Valentine's Day. It's not like she said, Chase was in the middle of the singing me this beautiful song that I wrote, and it's not like she was saying anything that could have been hitting Lulu as, man, she really has everything,
Right.
All she said was, you didn't care about ruining my Valentine's Day.
Well, I did like that Dante talking to her. I don't know how I feel about him disclosing the fact that they can't have
I
kids.
didn't like that. I
Not
did
really,
not like that at all.
not his business. But I did like that them talking through it. She was like, no, I think I'm jealous of Brooklyn, not because of you so much as like the past stuff. I'm jealous of Brooklyn now because I missed 4 years and she got to step in and has now formed all these bonds with my people. And I don't know where I fit in now. And it was like, thank you for getting to the bottom of that. Like Dante was good therapy for you to figure out what your real issue is. And that makes sense.
He was also a really good therapist to Chase. I like that they had them having that conversation. And I like that they made it awkward and that they made it okay, but you know, you're going to be okay and you guys will figure this out. Like you're going to be okay. But Chase is breaking my heart. And then,
him with Brooklyn, I'm like officially in love with him because she told him, he's going on and on and on about how he feels so bad because he has robbed her of this opportunity to carry a baby the traditional way of getting pregnant, the traditional way, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I know I shouldn't be putting my issues on you, but I just can't help but thinking this, blah, blah, blah. And so then she finally blurts out and is like, listen, you didn't deprive me of that. I've had a baby. I've been pregnant before. And like tells him the whole story. And he instantly is just like, are you okay? Like,
no. He put on a detective hat.
Oh, Chase, I love you. He was so sweet. And she's like, aren't you mad? Aren't you this? Aren't you that? And he's like, this is a big deal. There was no reason for you to tell me up until now because it was something you completely put in your past. Like nobody else knew about it, not even your dad. And so for you to share this,
25 or 26 or 30, she was a teenager. So he's recognizing,
right?
You had to make this decision at an exceptionally young age. Not saying that it would be even easier at 25 or 30, but she was making this decision on her own, only with Lois.
Right.
She doesn't even know what she had, where they are. Little do they know he's downstairs.
Yeah. I still hate that part of the storyline, but her and Chase.
I hope that they drop it and that they just forget about that and that they rewrite it. We can rewrite anything.
Can't. Or just have her decide not to find out because I really feel like that it's not fair to do to Gio. I like the character is a nice character. I would be okay with him having more of a storyline. I don't think his storyline should be, oh no, I just found out I'm adopted and my mom's Brooklyn and Dante is my dad.
Right.
So
I agree.
Him with Emma, like they seem to be developing a friendship, maybe a more eventually. His connection with liking Trina and maybe even being jealous that she's hanging out with Kai, like, okay, any of that I would be good with. But no, we don't need to get into finding out he's adopted.
Give us a good old love triangle. Here's the thing. Dante has never acknowledged what happened between he and Brooklyn. Right. And it very well could have been a one-night thing that happened as teenagers. They were very, very good friends. It happened and they moved on from it. And so he just doesn't even consider it significant because they were teenagers and they don't know from personal experience, but like that just happened,
Right.
And so he probably doesn't think of it as anything significant because then as soon as it comes out, then Lulu is going to think that her entire marriage was a lie or maybe not a lie, but it's going to do so much damage.
Exactly.
Damage.
It will be a big, it's going to take away from their relationship because the one thing that we loved about Lulu and Dante was that their love was real. Like she was messy and not always perfect and like trying to figure it all out. He was dealing with the fact that he had come to town as the police officer that was going to take down Sonny by a totally different name and blah, 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 blah. And they were still coming together and they were being honest with each other about like everything. And so the fact that when Brooklyn came in, he was so adamant about, I think of her as a little sister. I have no feelings towards her, blah, 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 blah. And now it to come out of, oh, you didn't think of her as a little sister all the time because you guys had a baby together is really going to mess with Lulu's head.
Well, he doesn't know that they had a baby, but they did the thing to make a baby.
Right. Exactly. You remember that part at least. So you may not know about the baby.
Exactly.
But...
Exactly. And it's not even like he says, yeah, there was one time that I thought she was like I had a little crush on her or something, you know, and
Right. One summer fling. Like if he would have admitted that at any point, it would be a little bit different. But he was so, she's my little sister. She's my little sister. She's my little sister.
yeah.
It's, but anyway, the Chase and Brooklyn part, I was good with, and I loved Chase.
I did like that they had Dante was just great all over the place because then he also talked to Lulu about the cupcake. She
Oh
bought
yeah,
Rocco
that was
cupcakes.
cute.
I didn't like the chase around that it seemed like they had the are they going to moment, but I did like where he says, no, he still likes cupcakes. He'll eat 5 at a time. It's disturbing, but he's just at a skate thing tonight. But she starts to break down about how, you know, she feels like it might seem like she forgot she had a son. And
Yeah.
I didn't like that he really kind of was like, it's okay, because Rocco was feeling that. Rocco was feeling like he was being abandoned. So
Right. He could have reassured her with the, no, I know he'll like the cupcakes because I bought them the one year and he didn't want them because they reminded him of you, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And like gave her that nice, oh, I was a good mom. I can get back to that moment without dismissing the fact that, yeah, she had been a jerk for those first few weeks whenever she was all about Charlotte and not really caring.
Right. So I don't know. I thought that was sweet also.
Mm-hmm.
What else happened?
Oh, Brennan bought Carly flowers.
Yeah.
And the girls had made cookies. Sunny let her know that he worked out this stuff with Ava.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They made, I see, and I do like that, where Carly had Sunny come over and the girls made him cookies. And he's like, oh, I remember those from last year, you know, all the sprinkles, whatever. And she's like, yep, and I'm cleaning it all up.
Right, exactly. The girls are hiding upstairs. Because, yeah, he wasn't supposed to come over yet. He showed up to tell her about Avery, about the custody stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I did like him stopping her from talking about Sasha. And he's like, has Jason talked to you about Sasha yet? He's like, no. He's like, okay. Does Jason ever not tell you something you need to know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no. He's like, okay, then let it go.
Yeah. That's hard for Carly to do, but yep.
It is.
I feel like that's it.
Tracy and Jason kind of had a nice moment.
Yeah.
The end. Jason told her that Drew's coming for him. And she kind of reassured him, you know, you're coming around. We will always protect you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was nice to see her like, we're happy that you're part of the family. You're so much better than Drew.
That's how I got it. That's how I took that conversation was, we got your back. I did like that she kind of asked Tracy, so are you guys getting married?
Yep.
Not to be like the old fashioned, how can you have a baby without being married? But just.
No, Sasha hit it on the head.
Like, great. She's like, oh, you want to make sure that this baby's full quartermain. Then Tracy kind of also, I don't feel like Tracy was saying it in a mean way as much as, but if you guys get married, like, then you're all protected. You're all covered. You know, like that's how I kind of took the way that Tracy was saying it. Is that making any sense?
Yeah, it makes sense that way, like all the bases are covered because you're official. But that's not what Sasha's. I hope they don't take it that far.
I don't either. If they do, I hope that it's because they actually do form a relationship.
Right.
But no, I don't want them to get married just because they have the baby, and they're not going to pull a Brenda.
No.
And them get married just so that they don't have to testify against each other.
And I mean, I don't know that I would hate them together, but I still think that would be weird. Like Jason raised Michael and now he's with his baby mama. It's kind of almost as bad as your uncle being
no,
with
because
your
it's
wife.
Not as messy. It's not this. I mean, it's the same because they're all the same age.
Yeah.
You know, it's Willow is to Drew is what, but it's not as messy.
It's not as messy because there's just one new kid involved, but it's still.
Well, and it's not an affair, and it's not as.
Yeah,
gross.
but it's messy on the other side because of
Why
Carly.
is it that we're okay with Sasha and Jason and not Willow and Drew? But I think it's because of the affair and the way that everything is being done.
I'm more okay with them, but I still don't feel like I'm 100% there because also he had a relationship with Carly, and so it is like the Drew stuff. Like that's weird.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it from the protection standpoint, but not. I don't know. I don't want them to be together.
Not yet. We'll see how it goes.
So, is there anything else?
I'm skimming. Oh, we didn't talk. We kind of danced around it that Jason visited Sam's grave and was really, really torn about what to do. And it's like he knew that she would talk to him even if they weren't together, that she would have worked through all of that. And then that's when he went to Drew and was like, listen, we need to call a truce. We have to do this for the kids. We promised Sam. No, I think that's it.
Okay. Reality check.
How was your week?
It was good. We went to Ohio Friday night and Saturday for Madeline's second dance competition. And I like this one a little bit better because they use a scoring system. So it's more about like beating your last time scores, like hitting all the marks, than so much beating another team, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like just the scoring's a little bit different. So she got the second highest award for all of her dances, which was good. And then
her or her team?
Huh?
Her or her team?
Her team. So she does this duet, and then she does two group dances. So all three.
Not like it really matters. I'm sorry, but I was just wondering. Like,
no.
Her by herself?
No. So a duet, and then two group numbers, and so all of them, they call it platinum, is what it was. So all of them got platinum. And then what I thought was the cutest award. So they do like every number gets an award, gold, platinum, or their highest is double platinum. And then on top of that, there's like the top scoring, and then there's judges' choice, which just has to do with something little that like the judges picked up about your team that they really liked, and it's in a special award. So the one dance that they do, I've mentioned before, is from the new Descendants movie, and so it's supposed to be like the princess rebelling against her parents and like having her own ideas and like, you know, that whole teenage like I'm becoming my own person kind of thing. So her team got the judges award for women with attitude, because all of them came out on stage with these like faces, like determination, and like as the song like, you know, sings different phrases that are like, oh, I got this or whatever, all of them were like on point with their like, we own this stage, we got this kind of thing. So that is my favorite. And then she also got, which is exciting but also ridiculous, for her other group number, they got an invitation to go to New York City for a week and take special classes and whatever, which is very, very, very nice and like a very high honor and very excited. It's very expensive. So yeah.
Awesome though. That's wonderful.
It is. It's I'm excited that she earns the invitation. I don't know that we'll be able to swing it. But they get to take, if she goes, they get to take a dance class with the Rockettes, which is cool. So
it's so cool. Tell her congratulations. I'm so proud of her.
I will tell her. So
happy for her, not just proud of her. So
yeah, it was nice. But like I said, I'm not that pushy mom who cares what she gets. I want her to do her best every single time, and that's what matters. The first competition,
obviously she did it.
One of my cats is attacking something in my room. Sorry. I think my one cat thinks that it's a rabbit because whenever it scratches itself, it makes that like thumpy noise like rabbits do. And so it was up against like a metal piece under my bed, making that that thumpy scratching itself noise. So anyway, the first competition is always like, it's the first competition. So you got to get the jitters out and whatever. And like I said before, a lot of the girls on her team, this is their first competition season. And so that one wasn't as great. Seeing their confidence level change for this competition was like, I'm so proud of you girls. Like, that's awesome, blah, blah, blah. So the fact that it was recognized by the judges makes me happy, because then the girls were able to be like, oh, wow, like we can see that improvement. We can want to keep pushing, you know, not that they don't always do their best, but seeing that reward or whatever. So
that's awesome.
That was that. So yeah. How about you? What did you do?
Kind of on the awards front. We had our awards ceremony, and I officially found out that I was first in my office last year for real estate. And not only that, so whenever we open up the booklet, I'm like flipping through and they have like everyone, everyone's like pictures in the booklet. I'm 13th out of 89 in our category in my company.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you get a fancy medal to wear like Madeline?
No, I don't get a fancy medal, but I do get a plaque that'll get delivered to my office, and I'll get a pin.
Ooh.
That I have like a little collection going on my cork board or my whatever soft board in my office. I just stab them into it. I don't wear them, but I'll put them up there and get some marketing credit.
I was going to say, I don't know. This one I might wear around the office every day if I were you.
Well, no one knows what it is. But we do have a sign that sits up front at our reception desk for the entire year that has everybody in the office who earned an award in order. And then it has my name and the award underneath it. So if somebody comes into the office and sees that board, they will see that I'm first on it. And the award that I got, even though most people don't know what the heck Leading Edge Society is, it's actually the top 9% of the national Berkshire company. So
that's awesome.
I'm excited. This is the third year that I've gotten this award, but it's the first time that I'm first in my office.
Mm-hmm.
So that was exciting.
Awesome. That is very exciting. You should be very proud of yourself. You definitely earned it.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I would not have, this time last year, I do well. Like, I know that I do well, but I would never have thought in a million years that would have been it. Somebody told me in November, they're like, you're probably going to be. I was like, I don't think I am, but okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you are. And I'm like, whatever. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And
yay.
Yeah. I mean, that was fun.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
And we had it at the casino, which I know you get jealous that I go to the casino and I just walk right through and don't do anything. I think other than that, it was kind of a boring week. Fighting on getting some stuff done for my daughter. Still, again, all those things. Yeah. So I guess I'm kind of boring this week. Just work and unpaid work.
It's not boring. You were an award winner. I have an award winner in my household. We are like all good.
There we go. Yep. Well, I don't think Lucky and Liz win any awards in this upcoming episode on Thursday.
They have
not
to
really
be better.
good transition
It has to be better. There's our takeaway. It has to be better next week.
This upcoming Thursday, we continue talking about Lucky and Liz in the early 2000s.
That also
didn't win
has
any
to be
awards
better.
then either.
But it also still has to be better than this week. So, but all right. Have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax,
I
carpet.
meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.